Marriage is the technology that God uses in the earth to stop people from being selfish. Hello and welcome to Faithfully Feminine. My name is Talia and I'm so glad you're here. At this channel, we talk about faith and femininity, wellness, ways to level up our lives as women, and how to create a really healthy and positive relationship with the masculine. If these are things that you're interested in, please subscribe. I would love to have you as a part of our community. Today, we're going to be talking about marriage and how we can prepare for marriage and what to expect. This video is for single ladies in relationships looking at getting married, and maybe even people or ladies who have just gotten married who need a bit of advice. I've been married for 2 months now. So this advice is really for that foundational part of being married, the first couple of months, maybe the engagement season, and how we can set ourselves up for success and create a really firm foundation for the rest of our lives in marriage. If you've been in a relationship for many years and you're living with your partner, you've probably already experienced a lot of the things I'm going to talk about, so this might not be for you. But if you're single or about to get married, please stay tuned because I have some very, very valuable advice for you. As I said, I got married 2 months ago. We got married, went on our honeymoon and moved countries. Completely new place that I've never been to before. My husband used to live here, so that was pretty good. So I believe that in this 2 months, I have experienced probably a much more intense first couple of months of marriages than most people who are probably staying in their own communities and have a lot of stability. But I feel like this puts me in a really good position to talk about the things that I'm going to talk about today. The first thing that you need to be prepared for going into marriage is your perspective and your mindset cannot be one of, I deserve this, I want this, you are here to make me happy. That needs to go, completely needs to go. We need to be able to give our partners 100%. It's not 50-50. It's not you give me this and I give you that. It's I give you all of me. I give you everything 100%. My mum, she watches these videos, has a phrase that has stuck with me. And she says that when you get married, it's like you are two servants that are in love. So you can look at this in two ways. Mum originally meant it in two servants, two people serving God who are in love and enjoying it. So their purpose is not each other. It's not making me happy. It's not necessarily making you happy. It's actually about serving the greater purpose. And you're in love at the same time and you're supporting each other to do that. Another way that you could look at it is that you are two servants to each other that are in love. So you view yourself as a servant. I know this is very contradictory to what a lot of the world teaches about me, I deserve this, I deserve this. And in no way am I telling you that when you get married, you're going to become a doormat. That is not what I'm saying. But you cannot go into marriage thinking it's all about you and your happiness. There is so much goodness and love and growth when you can put another person above yourself. Love someone enough that you sacrifice for them, that you put some of the things that you initially wanted aside for this person. And not even just like for this person to like serve their every whim, but out of love for this person, out of care for this person and your relationship. So you need to understand that if you're going to get married, selfishness has to go. Another piece of advice that I've heard said is that marriage is the technology that God uses in the earth to stop people from being selfish. If you're single for the rest of your life, all of your decisions are about you. Everything is about you. You're so encapsulated. But how could it be about anyone else unless you really consciously were trying to put others before yourself? Marriage is a technology that actually on purpose keeps us from being selfish. And then a step further than that is probably children, is like does that to a much deeper level. But if you're getting married, you need to let go of selfishness. There will be times that you need to have nuance with this, where you need to put yourself first. But if both you and your partner are putting each other first and loving each other 100%, your partner would be encouraging you and supporting you to look after yourself as well. So you need to also make sure that the person that you choose to be with is someone who would look after you so that you don't have to like I'm putting myself first here. I need to look after me. Like a good relationship, you'd both be looking after each other. Okay, next point, and it's kind of similar but a little bit different. Marriage is an ego death. Let me tell you this. My ego in the past 2 months has died 1,000 deaths. Just stabbed, gone, done. Oh my goodness. I cannot explain how important it is for you to be in an emotional, mental state where you are able to die to your flesh, to die to your ego. This is really similar to the selfish thing, but there's a little bit of difference here because this is a little bit more energetic. Jacob and I had a fight maybe like a month ago, and I hadn't fought with him a lot, and I think all of the moving and all of the instability had caused this. It's about the stupidest thing. I can't even remember it now, but I just remember being in this fight and I was like, I need him to tell me I'm right. I need him to say he's sorry right now because I am right. The way that I view this is correct, and it is baffling to me that he does not agree with me. And I talked to him about it and I tried to pull an apology out of him. I tried to explain it 1 billion times, but he just didn't view this situation the same way that I did. Now, in that moment, you can choose, am I going to be proud and let my ego rule here and be mad at him for a couple of days, not talk to him or like punish him subtly? Or am I going to accept that I can't control him? I cannot control his perspectives and make him do anything. I cannot make this man do anything. And I tried like subconsciously all these like manipulative techniques. He wouldn't budge because he's a good man. He's a masculine man. And then I realized what I was doing, and I said, do you know what, Talia? This logic in this situation needs to die for you to just like have a positive relationship with your partner, with your husband. You need to let it go. And letting things go can be so difficult. Small things, sure, but the big stuff that you get really emotional about, and in that heat of emotion, letting things go and just like putting it down to, we have different brains. My husband and I have different brains that see the world differently. And I'm not going to let this come between us, even though I really wanted to, because I knew I was right, personally. But he didn't accept it, and I had to let it go. I had to let go of my ego and submit. There is a healthy submission that needs to happen in marriage. And I'm really sorry to say this, but not at the same time. It is the feminine's job to go first in submission and in surrender. A woman needs to set the tone. A woman needs to bring herself to a place of surrender every single day, every single fight, every single moment. It doesn't work if a woman is trying to grasp and gain control. It does not work. And think of like a fight. It might be frustrating that you are the one that has to let it go, or you're the one who has to yield constantly. But this is an energetic principle. Men lead in the physical realm, actions-based. Women energetically lead, which means when you are in a state of being angry at your spouse or holding on to something, wanting something to be a certain way, grasping, getting into that masculine space, without you saying or doing anything, the man picks up on it. He sees it, he hears it, he knows it, and he will react accordingly to your energy. So it is our responsibility as feminine women to go first, bring ourselves to a place of surrender, trust, submission first. I know it's annoying because we have to do a lot of work, but you will be so surprised if you are like dealing with something with your partner in the future or now, and you're really upset about it, and you give yourself half an hour of like deep breathing and letting it go and praying and just moving it through you and bringing yourself of a place of submission and just trusting that your husband is a good man, and even if you don't agree on this thing, you trust him. He will feel that energy instantly, and then his actions will reflect your submission and surrender, which will be positive, masculine, and healthy. Again, I just want to say, I'm not inviting you to be a doormat. I'm inviting you to take feminine responsibility, to go first and let things go. Let your ego die over and over again, because energetically it sets a beautiful precedent. Your husband comes in and he feels good. He feels like his woman respects him. He feels like his woman loves him and honors him. And then his actions will naturally reflect that back to you. He'll want to take care of you more. He will want to support you and love you. He'll probably be more sexually attracted to you because you're not coming into his world with resistance and control, and he doesn't feel like he needs to be like defensive around you. So there's a lot there, but this tip is probably the biggest thing that I've learned in the last 2 months, is that no matter how sick of it you get and frustrated, this is marriage, you're in it for the long haul. You need to have ego deaths. You need to let go of what you want or think you need to control for the greater good of your marriage, for the greater good of your relationship, because you love him, because you care about building a family. Not because you want to be the perfect wife and I want to submit and just do whatever he wants and I'll just be a doormat. That's not it. You need to have integrity, and obviously if something in your core is not right, don't do it. I'm just talking about petty things where you're holding on to grudges, or they've done something that you don't like, or they've hurt your feelings and you're not letting it go. It's really about forgiveness, submission, trust, letting him lead over and over and over again. And if you're an independent girly, someone who's been single for a long time, that's really hard to do. So if you're wanting to get married, if you're moving towards marriage, this is something that you could practice doing with your boyfriend if you have one, but if not your boyfriend, God. In your prayer times, listening to your intuition, praying, being disciplined, and constantly surrendering your life's decisions and your moments to God. Spending that time with him every day and just releasing things, that will get you used to the feeling of ego death, because it hurts. It physically hurts. So that's what you want to be doing in your marriage. You also want to be doing it in your relationship with God. If you're preparing for marriage, doing it in your relationship with God will make marriage so much easier. Submitting to God, and God's also a whole lot easier to submit to, because he knows and sees everything and is perfect and is perfect love. So whatever you submit to him, you know it's going to be a beautiful outcome because it's God. And then when you get married, you have God, then your husband, then you. So really when you're submitting to your husband, you're also submitting to God. Okay, let's move on to the next point. So a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. That is a Bible verse. And basically it's saying when you get married, you might be a cord of 2 strands swirling on each other, but that is a weaker cord than a 3 braided cord. And the third aspect of a marriage needs to be God. God will support you. He will give you a common purpose. He will keep you aligned. Inviting God into your marriage will secure and stabilize your marriage. It will. Couples who pray together every single night have a drastically lower percentage chance of getting divorced when you compare it to couples that do not pray together at night. When you invite God into your marriage, he brings wisdom, he brings compassion and grace and understanding. So praying every night with your partner is a must, even if it's just 2 minutes. Both of you having time with God separately to hear his voice and to be encouraged and renewed, and then coming back together with a full bucket is so good as well. This is a really short tip. I'm just saying it as it is. Invite God into your marriage. It will help. It will be so life-giving to you and your partner. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear from you, and yeah, subscribe if you enjoyed my videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Have a lovely, lovely week.